Welcome everyone. My name is Gail and I'll be providing you with some highlights or snippets of information, if you will, on this topic, subject, as well as various others. So hang in there with me. This topic and others are designed to be used as a reinforcement or resource tool to a couple of different audiences. The targets audiences are the folks who, number one, have already attended a face-to-face classroom training and are unclear on the topic. Maybe something here will help you to clear up the fuzziness. This group will be our first-time VITA volunteers. Group number two are our returning volunteers who simply need some refresher. Returning volunteers are those folks who have volunteered in the VITA program for 2 or more years. Group number three, the folks who prefer to complete the IRS Lincoln Learn e-learning or e-training online version entirely may also come here to possibly pick up any additional skills or knowledge. No matter which group or audience you're in, just know that the online exams or test requirements remain the same for each of us. This topic and the one that follows are not full-blown lessons. For that, you will need to attend classroom training or complete the Lincoln Learn e-learning. With that said, let's just get on with it then. Now, this chart A, which is located in publication 4012, one of our valuable resources books. This is chart A for most people who must file a return. You will notice the very first statement under the banner. If you can be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return, whether or not that actually happens, you will not use this chart. Let's just walk through the chart briefly. Once again, chart A for most people who must file. If your filing status is single and at the end of 2018, you were under age 65, then you file a return if your gross income was at least $12,000. Notice the third column, it mentions gross income. Well, the definition of gross income is located on the same page just below this chart. I won't go there right now, but you'll need to read that for yourself. Let me just take one more. If your filing status is married filing joint, and at the end of 2018, you were both 65 or older, then your gross income, you would be required to file if your gross income was $26,600 or more. And so you can read the chart for yourself. Now, let's move on to chart B. Chart B is used for children or other dependents. You recall from the first statement under chart A's banner, if you can be claimed as a dependent by another taxpayer, the statement continues in chart B. Chart B for children and other dependents. On this chart, we're dealing with both earned and unearned income. And the definitions are shown just below the first statement. So for single dependents, either 65 or older or blind, you must file a tax return if any of the following apply. Your unearned income was over $2,650 or $4,250 if 65 or older and blind. Number two, your earned income was over $13,600 or $15,200 if 65 or older and blind. Number three, your gross income was more than the larger of $2,650 or $4,250 if 65 or older and blind, or your earned income up to $11,650 plus $1,950 or $3,550 if you're 65 or older and blind. Let's just take one more for married dependents. We drop down to the second banner. Either age 65 or older or blind. So you can see the difference, the are blind and the and situation going on there. So be sure to read the charts very, very carefully. Okay, so now chart C deals with other situations when you must file. I have arrowed 4 of the most common ones for our client-based taxpayers. You must file a return if any of the conditions below apply for 2018. Once again, this is chart C. You owe any special taxes. Look at arrow number 1B, additional tax on qualified plans, including individual retirement plans or other tax-favored accounts. We haven't talked about that yet, but we will in the retirement lesson. Look at 1E, the recapture of the first-time homebuyers credit. We'll talk about that here shortly as well. You must file a tax return if your net earnings from self-employment was at least $400. And number 5, if you receive any advance payments of premium tax credits on your behalf, on behalf of your spouse, or a dependent who was enrolled through the marketplace. In this segment, let's just look at chart D before we move on. Chart D says who should file. If a taxpayer is not required to file a federal income tax return, they should file if any of the following situations apply. Once again, I have arrowed a couple of things. Number 1, they should file if they had income tax withheld from their pay, their pension, Social Security, or other income. Number 2, you made estimated tax payments for the year or had any of your overpayment for last year's estimated taxes applied to this year's taxes. Number 3, you qualify for the earned income credit, or you qualify for the additional child tax credit, or you qualify for the refundable part of the American Opportunity Credit, or you qualify for the premium tax credit. Although we haven't talked about any of these just yet, just keep that in mind when we move to those lessons as to when you're talking to your taxpayer who should file the tax return. Always, 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 did I say always? Refer to your resource guide, publication 4012 or publication 4491 to assist our taxpayers. Once again, this is only snippets or segments of information. Other segments will follow later. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk later.